All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakan Kadash, call Allah Yumla Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakan Kadash. Double honors to the Apostle Elders, Grand Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to those for elect. Brother Alexander with the Pittsburgh GMS camp, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakan Kadash, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying. Okay, and we play this clip. Just do an impromptu in response. All right.
Cops on you. You touch one of us, we're gonna call the cops on you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, read over it.
Revelation chapter 9, Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his head,
right,
or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Right, so we see these things. Remember, Peter said, seeing these things, now how should you act? What should your behavior be, knowing that Iran is going to keep getting uranium, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. These other nations are going to continue to back them, all right? See that? May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai destroy that woman.
That's crazy.
Right, so we see these things. Remember,
the Lord had the Zaquan look and dodge it. You know what I'm saying? And dodge it.
These things. Now, how should you act? What should your behavior be, knowing that Iran is going to keep getting uranium? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These other nations are going to continue to back them. All right?
That's crazy.
See that? May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai destroy that woman. All right? May you die next week, or may you die this week with organ failure.
And we gave her money too.
You know?
And we gave that bitch money.
That's what she get. The Lord gonna deal with her. Go to Peter's 3 and
and this is the thing about it. A lot of people will watch this, and you people have been so destroyed. As the scriptures say, Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You have been given this idea of what a prophet is, and ultimately the Spirit of the Lord, which controls all things, orchestrates all things, has put you in this spirit of a lack of understanding. Okay, to where an individual such as this evil black witch, all right, because she looks like a witch. They got them. They got witches, right? It's like just, you see like that kind of, they got that little kind of structure going on in their nose and mouth where, there are these old hags, typically, which this is a stereotypical witch. You got witches that look like, everyday average people as well. A witch is just, a witch, but nevertheless, right? This evil witch, all right, sit up here calling the men of the Lord evil, okay? But at the end of the day, it's precept, right? Proverbs 29 and 27 says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked, okay? So we're abominable to these wicked individuals, all right? They see us, and I'm gonna scroll back to this image of this witch. All right.
9. And the third angel followed.
I knock this shit down.
Them saying,
look at her. Look at the crap.
A loud voice.
I weave all fucked out.
Man worship.
You can't even understand what she's saying, man. The demons just flourishing on this bitch, man. All right, and she put her hands against the prophets. But this is the thing, all right. These are the times we're in. Okay, they hateth him that rebuketh. Okay, in the gate. All right. And what does Israel say? For Amos 5 and 10, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him or avoid him that speaketh uprightly. And this is literally the lot of the prophets. No matter where you go, whatever situation you're in, if you speak righteousness, okay, you're going to be targeted, hated, avoided, okay? Because you're going to call people out on their wickedness. Make it. Get this. Isaiah 59:15 says, "Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment." Okay, so there's literally, all right, people making themselves a prey, man. All right, by adhering to righteousness. All right, this is exactly what happens, man, and that's how it is with these people, man. I want to get this. Light maketh manifest. Okay, Ephesians 5 and 11. 11. It says, "And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame to speak of those things. It is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things which are reproved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever doth make manifest is the light." Okay, and it doesn't continue to go into this. Let's find. It may be in the same chapter, but if not, we just type this in there. No, it's in John 3:19. And this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. And so, as the scriptures say, if they have hated me, they shall hate you. All right, because Yahweh Shai is the way, the truth, and the life, but he also is the light, or the lamp unto our feet, which we understand that lamp unto our feet is the scriptures, right? And he is the word made flesh. And so, by us living a righteous life, speaking as the oracles of God, even in, ways that are maybe more, how can I put it? Is the word esoterical? Let's see what esoteric means. Okay, esoteric. Salakia. Yeah, so even if we speak esoteric or intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge. Let's see what exoteric is. It's got to be a word, especially of a doctrine or mode of speech intended to be understood by the general public. So let's say we speak in things that are widely, understood. Let's say we, as the scriptures say, walk with wisdom toward them that are without, and we speak in a certain manner in order to kind of incite certain or invoke certain emotions in people, to where it's like, just generally doing the right thing, so to speak, right? You're still going to receive a certain level of hate. You don't have to explicitly say, well, this, that, and the other. In Hebrew Israelite, you can just go generally of so-called Christian concepts, doing unto others, they would have them to do unto you, or speaking righteousness. You could be in a situation where, there's an unjust thing going on, or a biased situation, or somebody's not judging fairly, and you can kind of, call them out on it. And now you've garnered to yourself hate because you're being the light and manifesting the wicked behaviors. I've had situations where, I'd be around individuals, through different situations or whatever, because sometimes you have to experience these things in order to have a testimony, where you're around an individual that's being a certain way, and they'll be receiving a bias. You have people in your workplace or different places that you are that are allowed to be tyrants because people, quote unquote, love them or like them, or they're charismatic, or there's this whole politics that goes into, certain individuals being allowed to be, horrible, fucking terrible people. All right. And get away with it. All right. And, if you are to call out the person's hypocrisy, who will allow the one person to slide on their bullshit, but will like to call you out on certain things, or when you respond to the person's bullshit, now you become the issue and not the person who's poked and prodded at you for the last hour or whatever, you know what I mean? Or last week, or however long you've been dealing with the shit. Now it's say, oh, both of y'all calm down, or both of y'all. And it's like, where was that energy when this nigga was pulling the bullshit all week and you saw it happening and you, for whatever reason, tolerated it? Okay, you, by speaking up for these type of situations, you make yourself a prey, okay? Because what are you exposing? The truth. What are you being an advocate for? The truth. And as that scripture said, Okay. Is this it? No. I must have closed it. But basically, you make yourself a prey. Okay? You become a prey because people start looking at you a certain way. Or they think they this, and they think they that, and they this, and they that. And, at the end of the day, these are just things that we're going to have to deal with. But, as Zaquan brought out, blessed are you when you are persecuted for righteousness' sake. And, these brothers is out there getting it in. Okay? Things manifest themselves in different ways. Currently, we've been experiencing where, about the 45 minutes to an hour end of our live streams, the audio gets corrupt. So that's how we're being persecuted through the Spirit, okay? Rather than having these things particularly happen where physical altercations. But we had moments, where, ISUPK came up to us and, quote unquote, tried to run us off of the corner, which we were advised through the Spirit to just leave that corner and go camp somewhere else. All right, but we was enduring it, and we were just battling them spiritually with the scriptures, not on the carnal aspect. Okay, but this is the heritage of the saints, or this is a part of what we're gonna experience, man. Is that the scriptures say, "Blessed are you." I believe this is what it says. No, that's one. Oh yeah, it says, you're blessed are you when men shall say all. Matthew 5:11 says, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you, hate you." That word "revile" is real strong. Let's get the Strongs on this, man. Matthew 5:11. That's a strong word. Matthew 5:11. That's Strongs. It says, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you." Let's play it.
Strong's G 3679. Anidizo.
Reproach, upbraid, revile. Undeserved reproach, to revile. Okay. To defame, defamation of character. To rail at, to try at, to taunt. Okay. To revile, to upbraid. All right. And this is the thing that, we experience these things. I've had people try to assassinate my character because they was, ultimately they was being some bitch ass niggas. But at the end of the day, they began to hate me, and the demons that's on them began to cause them to be obsessed with me and to spread information to people who were not even related to the, for lack of a better word, altercation that happened between me and them, which it was just a conversation, and it wasn't even directly related to them, but because they're, simp beta males and different situations like that, and they got offended at, masculinity, all right, for lack of a better way of speaking, they turned into bitches and they started trying to defame character. But at the end of the day, niggas got to man up. he just got to man up and quit being a biatch. But, I didn't even say that to him, I leveled with him and kept it real with him, and he still went behind my back and defamed me and gossiped and spread information about me. So these are things that we're going to go through, all right, as men of the Lord, okay, for righteousness' sake, all right. And so we just have to understand that, okay, that this is what is going to happen on a mass scale, okay. As the scripture, as I brought out, I was trying to look for another scripture, which, let's go back, Matthew 10, and I'll just get to the point. In 22 it says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved." So we're gonna be hated of all men for the name's sake of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua, okay? But it's all about enduring unto the end. So hey man, these things will happen, man. We're gonna get persecuted, defamed, stuff is gonna be thrown at us. If Yahushua suffered way worse. The scriptures say, "Ye have not yet strived unto death." Let's get that right. Let's see. Hebrews 12:4 says, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Okay. So we ain't even got to that point yet. You know. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speak unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. So, you know, ultimately, these are the things we're going to have to go through, man. You know, ultimately. And the Lord is going to repay these people, okay, for the tribulation that they put his men through. All right. So these people, a lot of these people got a heavy judgment on the way, man. All right. The Lord might reserve that chick to get judged during Jacob's trouble, man. Okay. Which, you know, that even knocketh at the door. We've already had a taste of Jacob's trouble. All right. And like I said, it knocks at the door to go on a mass scale. Okay. For the whole house of Israel. All right. It's only a matter of time. You know, the hour of temptation is right around the corner with the implementation of 6G technology. Okay. Which goes into the whole MOTB and the, you know, the RFID micro C-HIP. Okay. All these things are on the horizon, man. So, hey, you know, Lord willing, you edify. You know, that's pretty much it. I've got no more on that. You know, Lord willing, I'll come back soon with another lesson. You know, call Halayim La. All praises to you. How about Shem Yahshai by Shem Berkah. Okay. Double honors to the apostles, elders, a great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom. Baba. Shalom.